and is currently on probation. She says she cannot stop her desire to steal.
I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I'm currently raising 4 young children.
Oh my goodness.
The feeling I get when I get something for free is incredible. I feel like Superwoman. I am addicted to shoplifting.
Here we are at the store with my kids. All of these cards are, in my mind, they're free.
Over the years, I've stolen thousands and thousands of dollars.
They're on to me. I actually have made a mistake and almost stepped out with stuff in my cart that was not paid for.
Once I picked up a $900 jacket, lambskin, and just walked right out of the store after I put it on.
The thing is they're on to me at that store. They're not stupid. I feel regretful now, like, man, I should have done it. I could have had something for free.
I can't control myself. I've been arrested 4 times for shoplifting. The first time I was arrested, I got caught stealing a few T-shirts.
I thought it was only a one-time thing.
After getting caught, I continued to shoplift. The second time I was arrested for stealing baby food, saline spray, and a mug. One of my children was with me.
I thought, okay, this has happened twice. She definitely must have learned her lesson by now.
The third time, I was arrested for stealing clothes. This time, 2 of my children were with me. I was taken to the police station. Chris came to pick up our children. Chris was very upset about what happened.
We had to hire an expensive lawyer, and it cost us $5,000, for which I had to pay for.
2 years later, I was caught shoplifting for the 4th time. I put some things in my kid's stroller. Face lotion, body wash, perfume. I burst into tears and started crying. Then my children started crying because they were scared.
The police let me leave with the children so they would not have to see their mother being handcuffed.
This time, I had to stay in jail overnight until Chris could come up with the $2,000 for the bond.
I really wanted to leave Claire in jail, but it was Thanksgiving weekend, and I know that the kids needed her back.
Now, I'm a felon. I wish I could just stop shoplifting, but the reality is that I can't. I'm white-knuckling my way through it like a drug addict who needs his fix. If I'm caught shoplifting again, I'll be in there at least 3 to 5 years.
This is very important because if you get caught doing this again, you could be looking at years in prison, right?
That's correct.
You're on probation.
That's correct.
And you're a felon.
That's correct.
So if you violate your probation and you have another offense, then all that gets rolled up and due process gets really collapsed, right?
Absolutely. And actually, because I already am a felon, even if my probation time has passed, which it will be soon, I will still do time.
Okay. Now, here's what I'm going to ask you questions that I think everybody's thinking right now. Because you show insight. As you describe this, and you hear it, right, Chris? You hear it. You say, I get it.
Yes.
I get this is wrong, right? You get that you're taking somebody else's things.
I absolutely can see what I'm doing. I have insight into it. I can see that it's wrong.
So intellectually, you know it. And if you were talking to somebody else that said, I'm getting ready to go in there and steal something, you could counsel them. You could tell them why this is not a good idea.
Absolutely.
Okay, so take me through the moment where you're in the store and you've spotted something.
Yes.
And it starts welling up inside you. Take me through that moment. What's happening inside your body? What's happening in your mind?
If I feel like, okay, I could do it, then I start to feel a lot of adrenaline. I start to sweat, maybe shake. I get very nervous. If my children are with me, it does make it easier for me because I can focus on them while it's happening, and so not really deal with what I'm experiencing inside because it's very, very overwhelming.
We ask you why you shoplift.
Yes.
And I made a list, and I think it's very telling. You said, 1, I get an adrenaline rush and a feeling of power.
That's true.
Okay, so when you say adrenaline rush, what do you mean? You at that moment,
like I'm flying. I feel like I'm flying high. I feel like I'm above the law, and I'm above, like, I don't have to pay for that. I can get things that I want.
You beat the system.
I beat it.
You said, I feel so good about myself and powerful.
That's correct.
Because a lot of people would say, oh my God, I feel guilty. And there's a point at which you do feel some guilt.
Yes.
But at that point, you're feeling empowered. You feel that you are mastering the situation, and you feel
Absolutely.
powerful, and you feel good about it.
That's right.
Okay. I know it's morally wrong, but that one thing that drives me feels so much better, so I do it again.
That's right.
I would take something just to take it.
Yes.
It's not, you don't need it.
No.
You have the money to buy it.
Yes.
But you would take it anyway.
Yes.
I mean, saline spray?
Yes.
It's the act of taking, not the thing.
That's so true.
Okay, just being in a store makes me want to take things. You get in a target-rich environment,
Yes.
and you want to strike.
That's correct.
What do you think when you hear this?
What I think is I try to compare it to what an addiction might feel like, and all that I could think is that she actually feels powerless.
Look at what she says up here. She says, I have a feeling of power. She says, power. She says, powerful. She says, I feel good about myself. She says, I feel so much better that I want to go do it again.
Well, I know that I feel powerless with the situation.
You feel broke. You feel broke, right?
Yes.
You spent
yes.
$20,000
Yes.
on legal fees, bail, and all of that, getting her out. She's stolen, what, at most a couple $1,000s worth of stuff.
If that.
Why do you bail her out?
I love her. I understand that she has a problem, and she tries. She tries to understand it. I love her. She's the mother of my kids. I'm there to support her. For better or worse.
She takes your children to commit a felony.
That I feel very powerless about and very angry about, because I have no control over it. When Claire, when you take the kids, I have no control. I'm at work, I'm doing something else. I can't stop you. And that is the biggest thing.
Okay, look at this. November 21st, 05, stole T-shirts, first offense, expunged from the record. January 2, 13, stole saline spray, baby food, coffee mug, accompanied by children, charged with misdemeanor for retail theft. October 25th, 2013, stole clothes, accompanied by children, charged with misdemeanor for retail theft. 23rd, 2015, stole $150 perfume, accompanied by children and pregnant, charged with 4th-degree felony for shoplifting now, and wound up on probation. That's when it went felony, that's when it went probation. She's taking your children who are watching their mother get arrested. They've let you come get them so they didn't see her cuffed.
Right.
Well, Claire says she battles her urge to shoplift the minute she enters a store. We're going to talk about how she tries to cope when we come back, and we're going to talk about why this is happening, because I think there are some things going on here that neither one of these folks have considered. We'll be right back.
When the children are with me and I shoplift, what I do is use all the stuff that I have to bring with me anyway as a decoy. Diaper bags, baby blankets, baby seats.
My fear with her reckless behavior is that at some point our kids will get taken away from us.
I've left the children inside of the car while I go into the store really quickly to buy something.
Claire left the car running. Anybody could have gone into the car and drove off with the kids. It's terrifying.
Someone saw the children in the car and called Child Protective Services. There was an investigation, and they found out that the children were not in danger.
Yeah, I asked the children if she leaves them in the car. They said yes, that she has, but now she locks the doors.
Now, Claire's a stay-at-home mom with 4 small children. She says even though her engineer husband provides a very comfortable lifestyle financially, she cannot control the urge to shoplift once she enters the store. Now, let me ask you something. Do you leave your house to go steal something?
I have in the past, yes.
So this is premeditated. You go with that purpose in mind.
In the past, that has been the case, yes.
Claire sent us a video where she explains her urge to shoplift with her children in tow. And just to be clear, Claire sent us this video on her own without anyone from our staff encouraging her to do so. We didn't ask you to do this. We didn't encourage you to do this. We didn't say, give us some examples. You did this video diary on your own. We didn't ask you to go steal something.
No, I didn't steal anything.
No, I know.
Oh.
We didn't ask you to go. You didn't chicken out the last second. We didn't ask you to go steal something, right?
No, you guys did not ask me to steal anything.
Okay.
No, absolutely
I
not.
want to be very
and
clear.
I didn't steal anything either. I was just, you know, it was just the situation. I was describing how it would be.
Okay, let's take a look at this.
Here we are at the store with my kids, and there's a huge temptation all around me. For example, all of these cards are, in my mind, they're free. Free. Look at that beautiful card. Free, or $8.99. That's the struggle that I face. All of these children's clothes over here, all could just go into the cart and walk right out. But there's that one little chance that I should have paid $9.99. They're on to me. I actually have made a mistake and almost stepped out with stuff in my cart that was not paid for. I'm out of the store. Officially did not take anything, but I was on the verge of taking something, and I got suspicious because there was a guy that looked like he was security. I didn't do it. I'm safe, but I feel regretful now. Like, man, I could have had something for free.
Okay, is that typical?
Of how I feel,
Yeah.
yes.
It's typical
Yes.
how you feel.
That I want to take something, yes.
Okay. As you look at that, what do you think?
That it might happen again. That really for her to stay out of stores is the best policy for now, until we can figure out what's going on. Because I can't lose my kids, and I can't lose Claire either.
I guess I lie to myself and I say, no, it's going to be okay. Everything will be okay. That's what I tell myself in that moment. Though I know deep down that that's not right. But I lie to myself and I say, no, it'll be okay. Everything is okay. They won't catch me this time.
But that's like playing Russian roulette.
It is. I just
Yeah, because you're not that good at it. I know you've gotten away with it a lot. I mean, we've seen you've been arrested a number of times, but everybody else doesn't know how many times you've gotten away with it,
Right.
do they?
No.
You have to let her know that when she does this, you're not giving her a soft place to fall. She needs to understand when she chooses the behavior, she chooses the consequences. That if she goes and steals and gets arrested, that when she chose that behavior, she chooses that consequence. You are teaching her that you're going to get her out of accountability, and that is enabling her to continue to do this. And look, Chris, I know that's a lot easier for me to say than it is for you to do, because
Right.
it's not my wife, it's not the mother of my children.
Right.
So it's much easier for me to say it than it is for you to do it, which is why you should be talking to me, because you need an objective voice in your ear, because you're emotionally involved and you need somebody to tell you that you are not helping her, you are not loving her, you are hurting her when you teach her that you are going to ride in on your white horse and rescue her when she does this self-destructive behavior.
But not this time.
No, well, if it happens next time, there's nothing. I don't have a white horse anymore. I got no horse.
Well, Chris says he fears letting Claire hit rock bottom because she's the mother of their children. I totally get that. But I'm going to tell Claire why I think she's doing this, exactly what I think underlies it, and exactly what I think he needs to do to help her when we get back.
Even though I've only been arrested 4 times, I've probably shoplifted over 500 times.
He would steal things that are very small. I would rationalize to myself that these are big corporations. Are they really going to miss a $5 shirt or $2 cream here and there? I enabled Claire by rationalizing simple things like that.
He's paid over $20,000 just to keep me out of jail.
We could have gone on a vacation, but instead we're throwing it away at legal fees.
If it wasn't for Chris helping me out, I would be sitting in jail right now, not here.
In addition to taking her children with her when she shoplifts, Claire has also brought them with her to meet her probation officer. Take a look.
I'm here at the courthouse, going in for my probation. I'm about to get strip searched, and here I am, here with my kids. Here with my kids, doing a probation with a probation officer. Really pretty shameful, but here they are. Hi, Roxy, say hi. My precious dolls.
Bad situation, right?
It's impossible.
Let me tell you what I think's going on.
Please.
I think for you, this is an addiction. Now, you were addicted to drugs before.
Absolutely.
And when you were 18, you started going to raves, and you were taking drugs then.
Yes.
Then you discovered Vicodin.
Yes.
And then you discovered other pills, right?
Yes.
You
Stronger opiates.
You started taking Oxy and
Norco.
and you got at one point up to 40 pills a day.
At the end there, that's what I was taking. Yes.
Because it
between
just
30
took
and 40.
more and more because your body acclimates to it.
Yes.
And addiction follows certain patterns. Tension builds up until you get your fix. And when you get that fix, then there's that high.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
And then you ride that for a bit, then you start going back down and tension starts to build until you need it again. And so you start going from high to high to high to high. Your life is just stepping stone from high to high to high to high.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you were on the drugs, right? That's how you got up to 40 pills a day.
Absolutely, yes.
And I'm telling you that what you're doing now with this stealing is getting the same fix that you were getting when you were on the drugs. And that's why you're not going to stop it if something doesn't happen. We have to change how you get high.
That would be great.
We have to give you a new way to cope with whatever you're running from. Because I've said it before, you can run, but you'll just die tired. Because you can't outrun whatever's chasing you, and you can't get high enough. You've tried it to the point of killing yourself. And let me tell you, it changes your brain. It changes the pleasure centers in the amygdala. It changes your actual brain structures, and we have to change them back. Now, I'm not one to give her an excuse.
You're saying a lobotomy is in order?
No, and I'm not joking about this.
Right.
You can joke if you want to, but you're going to joke your wife right into prison, and you're going to be raising 4 kids on your own.
Right.
Your brain structures have to be reprogrammed here, and it's not going to be easy, but it is doable if you're willing to immerse yourself
I am.
in what I'm going to talk to you about.
I am.
I want you to
more than
think
willing.
about this. I'm going to talk to someone else that's got some very common elements to this, to what you're experiencing in terms of compulsions, and think about this. And then before we're done, I'm going to tell you what I think you need to do.
Okay.
Okay? Now, we're going to meet another stay-at-home mom who says she wants to control everything. I'll explain what I mean next, and then we're going to talk to you some more before we're done. We'll be right back. Janine is another stay-at-home mom that wrote into the show because she says she has an extreme fear of germs and getting the stomach flu. Janine told producers that her way of being a protective parent to her 3 children is by guarding her family against illness. Now, to stay safe in their home, everyone follows the rules. Take a look.
The thing that terrifies me more than anything else in life is getting the stomach virus. I am constantly using hand sanitizer. I wash my hands at least 15 times a day. I use bleach wipes all the time. I'm constantly wiping down everything in the house. When I go to get the mail, I have a whole routine. I need to take the wipes with me, wipe the door handle, wipe the mailbox handle. Every time I'm in public and I get back in my car, I sanitize my hands first, and then I wipe down the steering wheel. If I even hear someone talking about being ill, I panic. My fears have also taken over my family's lives. I homeschool the kids because I don't want them going to public school where you can contract a stomach bug. Jessie has fears of getting sick and getting germs as well because of me. My daughter, Julia, also has anxiety. She rarely likes to leave the house. A few years ago, she didn't leave the house for almost a year. I'm afraid my youngest, Cody, will contract a stomach virus, and the rest of us will get ill because he's 3 and he touches everything. I want more than anything else to have a normal life for me and my children, but it's not possible.
Okay, Janine, how hard is it for you to be here today?
Extremely.
Tell me what it's been like to come out of the house, travel on public transportation, come here, go through all of this.
My anxiety's horrible right now.
Yeah.
It's been extremely difficult. Look at the hotel room. I guess you never know what's happened before you've been in there. So I wasn't sure. You hope nobody's been sick before you stay there.
Right.
So I did bring my wipes with the special cleaner in them and wipe stuff down.
So you worked the room over?
A little bit, yeah. The door handles, the bathroom, the remote, the switches.
Tell me what's driving you.
It's this horrible fear of the stomach bug. I have this irrational, horrible fear of the stomach bug. I get panic attacks. I don't understand why.
What is the fear? What's going to happen if you get sick?
Right now, my biggest fear is for my youngest child getting it. I don't know, I'm not sure why, but I think of him waking up in the middle of the night and throwing up, and I panic, and I don't know, and sometimes just thinking about it will snowball me, and I'll go sleep in my car at night. So I don't have to worry. I feel safe that nobody wakes up in the middle of the night and will get me up because I'm trapped in my car and I lock my doors.
It's always the nighttime. It's always the dark time when my anxiety seems to be the highest. I sneak out and I sleep in my car. My car is my quote-unquote safe place. If I'm having high anxiety or panic, close to panic attacks, I come here to escape. I can lock the car. I can be out here by myself. If my mind is racing and I'm afraid my son's going to wake up sick in the middle of the night, I grab my pillow and stuff and I sneak out and I sleep in my car. In the morning, as soon as it gets light out, I start to feel better. I go back inside.
Janine does a lot to avoid getting the stomach flu. Like, she keeps the kids indoors. She tells the kids not to touch her face. The children are homeschooled. She never uses public restrooms, which means you go before you leave, and you come home before you have
Hopefully.
to. Yeah. So you won't go to movie theaters.
I don't like to, no.
The 3-year-old son has barely been outside, right?
Yeah, I'm okay, like, outside our house and, like, being out in nature, but I don't want to go out, like, I don't take him to a park or stuff because of the equipment.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm afraid of that.
And you wipe down all the surfaces with disinfecting wipes. You order boxes of cleaning products daily.
Well,
because you stay stocked up.
I am
Let's put it that
stocked.
way.
I am definitely stocked.
You have several bottles of hand sanitizer on you at all times. You have sanitizer wipes on you at all times. You often wear antiviral face mask.
I do if I'm at home and somebody is ill, I'll do that, or going to a doctor's office, I'm afraid. So I'll take it with me. I always have one with me just in case.
This is restrictive on your children, and they're beginning to show signs of this, right?
Yeah.
Janine says her 2 older children are now afraid to leave home because they call it their safe space. But her 17-year-old son is scheduled to graduate and leave for college next year, and he's afraid to go. We'll talk to him next.
My fear of getting the stomach virus has put a huge strain on my family. I was married once before, and I know it took a toll on my previous marriage. My anxiety prevents me from having a normal life. We don't do things like a normal family would enjoy. I do feel like because I am supposed to be a better mother than what I'm doing. I'm supposed to teach my children to live and to enjoy life, and they are now taking on some of the traits that I have taught them.
Janine claims that no one has been able to squash her fear of germs, and it's affecting her entire family. Now, here's what her son Jesse has to say.
I always fear that I'll get sick, and I'm really terrified that I'll throw up. It's difficult to live with this condition. I'm very isolated. I've been homeschooled since the 6th grade. I'm about to graduate from high school, and I'm also a concurrent student at my local college. But I don't go outside if I really don't have to. I have 3 friends. We usually stay in touch over the phone. I have routines that I do that keep me from getting sick. I wash my hands with hot water and soap for around 20 to 30 seconds. I put on gloves when I clean things like my phone. Spray a little bit of this on the towel, and then I'll grab my phone. I'll spray it with a bleach compound that kills any of the germs that are on it. I know my mom really suffers from this. When she's stressed, the whole family gets stressed. It's like a chain reaction. I wonder whether my anxiety is a genetic thing or if it's a learned behavior from being around it so long. I know that I need some kind of help. My life would be so much nicer if I could just get rid of this.
Well, joining us is Janine's son, Jesse, as well as a very dear friend of mine, host of the Emmy Award-winning show, The Doctors, Dr. Travis Stork. Now, I need to tell you up front that Dr. Travis says dirt don't hurt. What do you mean by that? And is she actually putting herself and her family more at risk for infection with some of the things she's doing?
That's what's hard for me medically speaking, hearing your story, because there's this myth out there that if we avoid all germs that we'll actually be healthier, but it's the exact opposite. You said dirt don't hurt. The reality is kids that play in the dirt actually end up with more robust immune systems. Not only are they able to fight off infections more easily, the very thing you're worried about, but Dr. Phil, less likely to develop things like asthma, allergies, autoimmune illnesses. And what's really cool is, and again, doctors, we're partly responsible for this, teaching people that all germs are bad. Most germs are wonderful. And what's great is as you play in the dirt more, as you go out in the world, you develop this massive, massive gut profile of good bacteria. And what these do is they help boost your immune system. They help protect you so that, God forbid, if you're ever exposed to a virus that can cause nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, your immune system is ready to take care of it. Your kid's immune system is ready to take care of it.
Do you know why you do these things? Have they just been modeled? Are you just mimicking, or do you know why you do them?
I do them as like a self-preservation kind of thing.
But what Dr. Travis is telling you is you're actually making yourself more susceptible to getting sick.
It's a compulsion. You have to do it, and if you don't, you're miserable afterwards.
Okay, well, that's what I'm asking you here. Are you doing the compulsion to stop being miserable, or are you doing it to keep from getting sick? Because if you're doing it to keep from getting sick, you're misinformed.
I see.
Unfortunately, we're seeing more scenarios like this, and people still think they're doing the right thing with this compulsion to wash everything, to never go out, to never shake anyone's hands. And unfortunately, we're doing more harm than good.
You may be doing this for other than the apparent reasons, which can be very important in stopping doing it.
Okay.
Like I say, you got to define the problem.
Right.
You may be doing this for other than the apparent reasons. And 2, when you do something as ritualistically as you have, as repetitively as you have, then you have neurological changes. And these have to be addressed. Just as I was saying with you, this isn't pure behavioral or psychological. There are brain changes that happen, and those have to be changed to get out of this. And I don't want to just take this away from you without putting something constructive back in its place. We don't break behaviors. What we do is we replace one behavior with a new, hopefully more constructive behavior. Coming up, could Janine's methods and rules to avoid being contaminated with germs actually make her sicker? Dr. Travis says yes. So if she's not going to do that, what can she do? We'll talk about that when we come back.
I don't really exercise or eat well. I would consider myself overweight. I'm about 60 pounds overweight. I eat a lot of junk food. I love ice cream, chocolate, anything sweet. I wonder if the way I eat has an impact on my anxiety and my overall well-being.
Oh, yes, it does. Janine believes that scouring her house of dirt and germs and keeping her family inside her safe space as much as possible, by doing so, she will decrease her chances of being contaminated by germs. But that is not the case. Now, my good friend and host of The Doctors, Dr. Travis Stork, is here, and he has recently written the New York Times best-selling book, The Lose Your Belly Diet, Change Your Gut, Change Your Life. And it was published by Ghost Mountain Books, which is owned in part by Jay McGraw, my son. The book is now in stores, but you can also go to thebooknook.com right now and buy a copy while you're watching the show, actually. Congratulations on this book. This is a really good book.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
What I want you to do, and I'm going to let Dr. Stork talk about this now, what I want you to do is assault your entire life here. And interestingly enough, it begins with the germs in your body. Right? I'll turn it over to you.
It seems absurd.
It does,
that
doesn't
statement
it?
seems so absurd, and I'm glad Dr. Phil asked me to be here today because this is all new, exciting research, and that's why I was so excited to write this book and study and research about this, because everyone has learned bacteria, bad, germs, bad. Let's kill them all, whether it's with sanitizer, antibiotics. And so I have an entire chapter in the book on why we want to get dirtier. So we just talked about that. But also, I talk so much in the book, Dr. Phil, about how important it is to build up all these good gut bacteria, 100 trillion of them. And these, I call them little soldiers, our little buddies. These are the guys that not only help us stay lean, lean people have 70% more gut bacteria, but they also help boost our immune system. And if you think of it this way, if you treat these gut bacteria right, they will. They'll keep you safe. They'll keep you healthy. They'll keep you leaner. And at the end of the day, that's what most people I've found want in life, because it's hard to be happy when you're not healthy.
Well, it really is. If you do what Dr. Stork is saying, if you think about this bacteria as little soldiers, you get this in your mind and you say, you know what? I am going to be empowered. I'm going to get myself in shape. I'm going to get my weight down. I'm going to get my body healthy. I'm going to do all of this stuff, and I am not going to be vulnerable. If you feel a sense of mastery over your environment, instead of feeling afraid of and victimized by it, then your ability to fight this compulsion is going to go up dramatically.
Okay.
You hit the nail on the head, this fear of getting sick. When you start substituting unhealthy behaviors with healthy behaviors that I talk about, there is this empowerment, and when we feel powerful, we feel more confident. And that's why I do think hand in hand, mind, body go together. And I love our back and forth because you get to deal with the psychological, I get to deal with the medical, but they're really close.
They are. They're inextricably intertwined.
I don't think I've ever felt empowered in my
well,
whole life.
You got something to look forward to. All right, I'm going to take a break. When we come back, what I have to say to Janine, Jesse, and Claire right after the break. You have a behavioral compulsion, and that behavioral compulsion has a purpose. And it is, you think it's to keep you from getting sick. I think it is to push down your anxiety levels. I'd like to introduce another good friend of mine. He's chairman of the Dr. Phil Advisory Board and co-founder of the Lawless P&P Center, Dr. Frank Lawless. What do you have to say about all of this?
You basically begin this thinking habit in your mind. So basically it's a neurological factor. And so consequently, I think that it would really be helpful to begin what we call psychoneuroplasticity in order to get this kind of thinking under control.
Because right now, what she's done is created a neurological track which is like an oval racetrack with this compulsion, but it's like a racetrack that doesn't have any exit ramps, right? She's caught in a trap once she starts doing this, and there's no way to break out of it. And unless something happens to retrain this at a neural level, no matter how hard she tries psychologically, this is not going to change. And with her insight and her level of motivation, because you have to realize she faced a lot of demons, a lot of fears to get out of her safe zone, get on an airplane, fly across the country, stay in a hotel room with God knows who was there the night before.
I know. Don't
and
tell
God
me.
knows what they were doing the night before. And she's here. So, I mean, that's a lot of want to. That's a lot of want to. So, I mean, you can help her with this, right, Dr. Lawless?
Absolutely, and I would be glad to do that.
All right. Well, that's a great start. So we're gonna work on this. All right. All right. Fair enough. Dr. Lawless, thank you so much. Right. And you know, Claire, let me turn my attention back to you. You know, I said to you, you're playing a really high-stakes poker game here. Because I said the same thing to you, that some of this is neurological with you, and this is an addiction. I want you to look to your immediate right. That gentleman is T.J. Howard, and he is the corporate director of operations for the Origins Behavioral Health Care, and they are, in my opinion, the leading dual diagnosis treatment center in America. And these are folks that deal with addiction at every level, simultaneously in dealing with what drives that addictive behavior. I'm going to make that available to you because I think you've worked hard and I think you deserve it, and I'm going to make it available to you immediately after the show.
Thank you.
Okay? All right. Okay. I want to thank all of my guests, including T.J. Howard, the Corporate Director of Origins Behavioral Health Care, Dr. Frank Lawless, Chairman of the Dr. Phil Advisory Board and co-founder of the Lawless PVP&P Center, and a special thanks to the host of The Doctors, my good friend, Dr. Travis Stewart. He is the author of Lose Your Belly Diet, Change Your Gut, Change Your Life. And let me tell you, if you have not picked up a copy of this, you need to do it, because it will change your life, it will change your lifestyle, it will make you healthier at so many levels. You can go get your own copy now at thebooknook.com, or you can buy it in stores today. And everybody in the audience is going home with your own copy. All right. We'll see you next time.